Hello everyone, welcome back for another video. I find that this topic is going to be really useful and helpful for a lot of you guys today because we all crave and want peace in our lives. And I honestly think that sometimes we can be getting in our own way when it pertains to having more peace in our lives. And I wanted to share with you guys things I stopped doing in order to have peace in my life. And I think that this will really help you. I have a couple stories to share with you guys today. And we're going to just get into it because one thing I cannot stand is being in a chaotic headspace when I feel like my life is just a tornado. Like there's nothing worse than having issues with people when it comes to your financial situation being a mess, when it comes to your life being a mess, when it comes to just your discipline and everything going out the window. Like that essentially is a huge loss of your peace. And we're going to kind of talk about each thing that I specifically stopped doing that I've worked on that has allowed me to regain a little bit more peace in my life and has allowed me to be more carefree and chill and relax and still live a very meaningful, happy life. So we're going to get into that today. I hope you guys like these types of topics. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I hope that this resonates with some of you. I think that you guys are really gonna enjoy today's video. The first thing I stopped doing in order to have peace was trying to determine, help, and finesse other people's fates and how they lived their life. Let's kind of divulge a little bit. So I know for me personally, I am a fixer. It is in my blood. It is in my nature to want to fix people, to want to help people, to want to creative direct sometimes people's lives, especially if you're my partner or somebody close to me. And I have found that it becomes very unpeaceful when you realize that sometimes what you want for others is not what they are willing to work on and do. And it becomes a controlling, very terrible power play that you're doing with this person where you're realizing that you want so much better for someone when they do not want the same for themselves. Trying to control, finesse, and create somebody else's life is not your job and is not your duty. I feel like a lot of people are in relationships where they say, oh, but eventually he's gonna do this and do that because I'm helping him with, his job and I'm helping him get a car and I'm driving him here and there. And it's like, babe, when are you gonna realize that you literally are his mother? You're not his girlfriend, you're not his partner, and he is not going to change these things because you're literally doing them for him. And the more that you realize that you have to either accept people for who they are or leave them is really how it goes. I mean, granted, if we are in committed long-term relationships and there's a few things that, you want somebody to change here and there, that is completely different. But when it pertains to wanting somebody to completely alter their lives is not normal. You cannot get someone to change things about themselves just because you said so. And this is something you have to stop doing in order to have peace. You need to stop trying to fix people and control people. Find somebody who's on your caliber, somebody who's equally yoked, somebody who wants the same things that you want, somebody who is determined and disciplined and respectful like you and the other attributes and qualities that you look for in a person. Or you gotta leave the person where they're at. Trying to control them, trying to change their fate, that is not your job, okay? Their destiny is their destiny and it has nothing to do with you. The second thing that I stopped doing in order to regain my peace is to stop having excessive arguments with friends and family and people in general. Sometimes we don't always have to have the last word. Granted, this is very, very, very difficult coming from the girl who loves to argue. There was a time in my life where I would have the best clapbacks, I would have the best responses, and now for me to keep my peace and to keep my energy clean and pure, sometimes I just let people be. I just let people be. I don't always have to be right. If it's right to me, it's right to me, and I have been more receptive to the idea of hearing somebody out. If I don't agree with them, I don't feel this need to argue and argue and argue. Like, we can talk it out. I do believe in talking things out, but if it's going down a dirty, not so great route, I am leaving it, okay? And we will not speak anymore. I am really okay with not speaking to somebody if they are not good for my energy in life. That goes for friends, that goes for family, that goes for anyone. And the more that you create that boundary with yourself, you won't be played with anymore. And I do believe that there is a healthy way to articulate this to a person, I don't think it's appropriate, especially if somebody's super close to you, to cut them off and never speak to them again and not give them a rhyme or reason. Like, I don't believe in that, but I do believe in stating your boundaries, saying, hey, listen, we can either talk this out like adults, respect each other's boundaries, or we don't need to speak. And if they choose the not speaking route, then bye-bye. See ya. The third thing you gotta stop doing in order to have peace is you need to stop seeking validation for your confidence to be boosted. You should be able to have confidence in yourself without external validation, opinions, and ideas of yourself. And it's easier said than done. It's not easy in the world we live in today, where everything is all about trying to impress someone, trying to make ourselves seem cool with TikTok and Instagram and all these other social platforms that make you feel like you have to be validated in order to feel like you have a purpose, or that you are pretty or meaningful, or you have something that is important to be shared. No, you need to give yourself that validation. The more that you validate your own feelings, your own purpose, and your own ideas, is when you are going to start to feel a little bit more peaceful. I don't know, I find that it's super important to validate yourself and to prove to yourself that you deserve to be here. Trust me when I tell you, when you seek validation from others, yes, it does feel good in the moment, but when somebody isn't validating you for something, then you start to feel like, oh, maybe I did that wrong. Maybe I should have did this. Maybe I should have did that. And it's like, no, just because other people are not receiving it the way that they maybe received your other things that you were doing does not mean that it wasn't important. This is why it's important to not really overly obsess over people liking you. You should just be happy when people like you and not care when people don't like you. That is truly the recipe to living a happy, healthy, peaceful life. Okay, number 4, I stopped waiting until things got messy and chaotic to start cleaning. This sounds a little bit like, okay, that's not super serious, but it is, okay? There was a time where I would be going through it, stressed, anxiety-ridden. I was maybe just not in a good headspace, and I would allow my space to get filthy, okay? I would have clothes piling to the ceiling. I would have dishes in the sink. I was just not keeping my space tidy, and I was allowing my work to pile up. Like, I had a bunch of things that I had to get done, and I feel more at peace when things are taken care of, okay? Motivation is something that a lot of people say, but I don't believe in motivation because it's not real. When I first started my fitness journey, I remember there were a few times where, I was scheduled to meet up with my trainer. And let's just say Monday I felt great, went and worked out. I have a session with this person on Wednesday, and maybe I feel a little queasy or whatever. I don't feel good. I would just go anyways. Like, I don't rely on my day being perfect for me to get things done anymore. It's just not important. So this can apply to messes in your legitimate life. Like, I'm talking about physical messes, and it could also pertain to just your life being in a mess and in shambles. Sometimes we just have to show up irregardless of what we're going through, and I'm telling you, you're never going to regret it. Like, obviously, I don't believe in overworking yourself and tiring yourself out. That is not healthy either, but we should not allow ourselves to slack completely off to where we're literally going to have to clean up this mess later on, whether we like it or not, in a way more chaotic way. I much rather try my best to get things done, clean things up as we go, and just do it whether I'm feeling great or not. I allow myself to feel those emotions. I'll rest a little bit, I'll feel it out, and then I get to work and I start cleaning. And this has allowed me to feel a lot more at peace. When I am up to my neck in issues and things that I have going on, I am fucking stressed, okay? I don't care. People will say, oh, girl, but like, it's important that we just give ourselves the space that girl, I know. It is important that we give ourselves grace and space. But sometimes when we give ourselves too much grace, we end up slacking to the point of putting ourselves in a deeper hole that becomes almost impossible to get out of. So I much rather clean as I go and do the things that need to get done to avoid a bigger mess that I have to clean up later. Okay, number 5, I stopped obsessing over love to have peace in my life. I didn't think I was obsessing over love at all. And then I really thought about it. And I'm like, girl, yes, you do. You do obsess over love. I love being in love. When I tell you, I used to say this statement all the time, 2 is better than 1. I love being with somebody. I really genuinely love being in love. I have had immense luck in love. I have had many different people in my life that I've loved and have had beautiful relationships with and have committed situations with. And I am very blessed and lucky to have had that. But right now, my current situation is there is literally no one in my life. There is nobody in my life. And I am finally free, it feels like. Like, I have said so many times that, oh, I'm going to work on myself and this and that. And like, I feel like a lot of people say that. Like, I think I saw like a video recently of Lori Harvey being like, this is the year where, you know, it's all about me. I don't want to have my name tied to somebody else. I'm not going to quote her completely, but I remember seeing that. And then recently I saw that she has a boyfriend, which no hate to her at all. Like, beautiful. I'm so happy for her that she has found someone. But genuinely, when I say I don't want to entertain somebody right now, I mean it. I am genuinely taking this time for myself, and obsessing over love has gotten me nowhere. Like, yes, I've had beautiful situations, but I much rather things organically happen for me and for things to be done in the timing that is, to me, what feels most comfortable and right for me. And currently, I have so many things going on behind the scenes financially. I have a couple of different business moves and things that I have going on. It is not the time for me to be immersed in love. And I have accepted that truth, and that fact is, weird as it feels, I'm channeling it. And I'm really happy that I'm in this place in my life, because I think it's just going to attract better people for myself. And, you know, I've had really amazing perspectives on this topic, and I think that the overall consensus is everybody wants what they don't have. And if you're in a relationship, like, I've met so many people that are in relationships who wish they were single, and I've met so many single people who wish that they were in relationships. I am just relinquishing that obsession and control and allowing my life to just go as it's supposed to and leave it in God's hands. And obsessing over love has really given me a lot of stress in my life, and I much rather just let that go and be at peace. The next thing that I stopped doing to have peace is I stopped pretending to be like okay with people and getting along with people just because I was trying to be kind. A little story time. I have a neighbor currently, and I don't really care because I doubt that they know or watch my videos, but if they do, hi neighbor. My neighbor who lives next door to me has been nothing but kind to me. They have been a little bit overly kind in a way, which makes me a little bit uncomfortable as a single woman who does live alone. It's not something that I gravitate towards, people being like super like involved and like want to get to know me, but they were very kind and sweet to me. Like, oh, they would call me by my name, like they remembered my name, which is kind of rare. Like, I don't know, at least for me, I haven't had experiences where people will be like, oh, hi Haley, how are you? Like, it's like, oh, thank you. Like, I'm glad that you remember my name, because I really genuinely don't know their names at all. But like, there was a few times where they offered to like carry like my big boxes to my apartment door and things like that. And I just found that to be really sweet. And they've always been nice to me. Every single day I see them, they'll be like, hello, how are you? What are you up to? Da-da-da, right? So, long story short, I was laying in bed one night watching TV with my dogs, and I was also scrolling on TikTok. I think my TV was just like muted at the time, and I was watching TikToks, and I get a call from the front desk of my apartment building, and essentially the front desk said, hey Haley, I'm so sorry for calling you this late, but can you please keep it down? I got a call from like someone, you know, in your area that said that you're like blasting music or have like your TV really loud or something like along those lines, right? And I said, I'm sorry, you guys have like the wrong like apartment. I'm laying in bed, like I'm about to go to sleep. So it's not me. Fast forward maybe a few weeks, we had a Christmas party here at my building, and I went to it because I love to go to the events here. They're really kind of fun and they give you free booze. And my neighbor was there, and the first thing that, you know, he did was come up to me and been like, hey Haley, how are you? How are things going? And I don't know what compelled me to be like super honest with this person and be like, did you call the front desk about me? And he admitted that he did. I don't know why that took me by surprise. You mean to tell me that you go out your way every day to speak to me, and then behind my back you call the front desk at like 11:30 at night to complain about me being noisy and to like get me in trouble? I don't know why that left such a bad taste in my mouth, because one, I wasn't being noisy. Two, I see you every day and you're fake to my face. And three, like, if you feel this comfortable talking to me every day, why don't you just say something when you see me and be like, hey, you were like playing music really loud last night. Like, can you turn it down? Or, you know, or ask me about it but you just pretended like you didn't do it, right? Back to my point. I no longer want to get along just to get along. It's something that has really made me feel at peace. So now when I see this person, I kind of give them the cold shoulder. I don't feel this compelling nature to get along with this person, to overly speak to this person, to have all these like immense conversations. Like, I keep it short and sweet and cute, and I move on my life. Granted, I'm sure that I probably should have did that anyways, but I have always been such a talker and a nice person that if somebody goes out their way to be kind to me and speak to me, I'm gonna have a conversation with you. But now that I know what you did, you're not getting that from me. And it's so funny because he still tries to, speak to me and things like that. And I'm just kind of like, have a good day. Like, I'm very short and sweet with this person. So something that has helped me with my peace is, not getting along just for the simple fact of getting along. Like, it's just not gonna happen anymore. And I think it really makes me feel like I set a boundary without being confrontational. I addressed it. We covered it, and now I'm moving forward with my life, and me moving forward is just keeping you at a healthy boundary distance. You're not about to be like my bestie. Like, you literally snitched on me and thought that we were gonna be cool after that. Bye, you're done. And the next one, which is kind of a similar type of vibe, is I am no longer oversharing to seem relatable. This is going to give you so much peace in your life. When you overshare, you never feel good about it afterwards, especially if you're being messy or drama related in this topic. For me, I'm never messy. I never overshare when it pertains to drama, but I do sometimes overshare about myself, and I'm learning to work on it. I've talked about this in several videos. I am just somebody who loves to mingle with people, and I love to talk to people, and I am learning that I don't need to overshare about myself to seem relatable, and I don't need to tell people about myself for any particular reason. If it makes me feel uncomfortable to share with somebody something about myself, I'm not gonna do it, and I will lie to you if I have to. I saw something on Instagram the other day that says, normalize lying when somebody makes you share about yourself, or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it said. It was just really something that hit for me because I'm like, yeah, especially when you're single, young, you have something to protect, you're naturally private. You don't want to talk to people about your life, especially when you don't know them. You don't need to overshare to seem relatable, to seem cool. Do what makes you feel comfortable, okay? There are so many things in this world that are trying to hurt us. I'm not saying to live in fear, but just be very on guard and protective over things that are important to you and over conversations that you don't want to have, life events that you don't want to share yet, moves that you don't want to talk about making with other people. You don't need to talk about these things with people all the time. It's not their business. The last thing that I stopped doing in order to gain peace is I stopped blaming myself or punishing myself for falling off or making mistakes. I hate more than anything sulking and living in negative vibes. I do not want to spend days of my life upset over what I should and should not have done. Let's just be better, okay? You want to have peace in your life? Stop punishing yourself. You can't have peace if you're constantly living in this negative vortex of, I wish I, would go to the gym 4 times a day, and I wish I did this, and I wish I did that. Okay, let it go. For instance, the holidays came around, I stopped working out for a little bit. I had a million things going on. I was buying gifts. I was doing this. I was running around. I was going to parties. I was living my life. I didn't want to work out, or I didn't even think about it, to be honest. Instead of beating myself up over being like, oh my God, I stopped working out. Oh my, what is wrong with me? I just picked back up where I left off and I left it be. I didn't gain a single pound when I was not working out. And I feel like it was because I wasn't stressing about it. And I think that when we are in a negative headspace, our bodies just don't perform well. And when you're happy and when you're carefree and when you're at peace, your body isn't as, I think, susceptible to bloating and weight gain and all this other stuff, because a lot of the times all of those things happen to us when we're living in a negative headspace and when we're just not taking care of our mental health. And for me, I just much rather fix it than live in that negative headspace and not fix it, but spend all my days talking and thinking about it. No, I'm good. I think it's important to not punish yourself for falling off. Just acknowledge that the mistake was made and fix it, or, try to find other ways that you can do things that will make you feel fulfilled and happy and at peace. This is what we need to do moving forward. In 2023, let's stop doing things that make us feel uncomfortable. Let's live a more peaceful life by at least doing things on our end. We can't control other people and what they do to us, but we can control what we do to ourselves. And I hope that these tips helped you guys and have allowed you guys to feel excited about having a more peaceful life. Let me know down below how you guys have been living a more peaceful life and what you guys are doing in order to have that. I love you guys so much. I hope this video helped you. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. We are so close to 600K on here. Let's get it, okay? I know there's a percentage of you that are watching and not subscribing, so get to subscribing. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone. Mwah.